enjoying the Boston Open. How about Kevin Guimond taking out the Birdman?
That's huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is huge. We were actually, me and Sean Santoro were sitting in here and we were talking about the Sky and Ricky match, but we were also keeping a very close eye on those other last 16 matches. And for a few minutes, we thought this might be Chase Stumfall and Kevin Guimond. But Tom able to make the comeback down 5-2 against Chase, and that will see Chase's exit. And now Kevin Guimond and Tom Cousins are going to battle it out, and this is a quarterfinal matchup.
So it's ironic that Kevin has this opportunity to showcase his skills. Kevin's definitely an experienced player, maybe not as familiar to some of the fans out there, but he's gotten around. He spent some time in Texas, fighting some of the best. Had a few years off, but in the last few years, he's really going after it, and it's showing that he's putting in the work. Current Ocean State champion, and a slew of other titles over the last year or so.
Yes, so
he's here for the cash.
I'm actually in East Texas, so I'm very familiar with Kevin. He was running around my area quite a bit for a while. The very first time I ever went to go see a big tournament, I watched Kevin Guimond take out tournament favorite Skylar Woodward, and it broke my heart because I was a big Sky fan, but that's also the day I became a Kevin Guimond fan.
Yeah, he really is a great guy. He just stays calm, does what he needs to do. Not really a lot of emotion out there, just smooth, calm, gets the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's taken on this rack pretty well so far. He's looking at taking the 15 now, and I like that. You just got to be a little careful with the 15, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to judge where his cue ball's going to arrive. And with that fresh cloth on there, the slide makes it a little difficult to manage the cue sometimes, but I think he's done really well here. Quick stop shot here, leave him position on that 12. May need to bump the 6 while playing the 12, but ultimately I think he's done well here.
Yeah, he's just off angle, so you're going to see him pull the cue ball just a little smidge to the left there, and there it is. 12 ball. And I think at the angle he's at, I think you're right, he will have to probably bump into that 6 unless the angles are deceiving.
Just going to be a light touch here. Doesn't want to get the cue ball too hot off that rail.
Uh-oh. And just like you called it, a little fast. The 8 ball still goes in the side pocket. It's just a thin cut.
Yeah, he should be fine here. Nothing Kevin hasn't seen before, nothing he can't handle. And you see that look of determination on his face. All business at the table. There we have it. Guimond takes rack number 1. And it looks like he's going with a second ball break. Yep, contact to the second ball.
And that's my fault. I apologize. I thought Tom had the first break, and I was wrong. It was Kevin who had the first break, so that would have been a break and run.
Nonetheless, you see that contact on that 12 ball, second ball in the rack. Getting a nice spread there. Seems like he's got everything he needs here to run out the solids. A little heavy on the cue ball there. But I do still like Tom to get out here. The 4 and the 8, a little tight. A little tricky to navigate there. But a man of his talents, this should be no issue.
Yeah, I definitely like the way he played that.
Looks like he's just going to roll forward here just a hair. Try to get the 4 to the top left. You see him really trying to manage that cue ball. The speed on this table, from what I understand, is very, very fast. So just a flick of the wrist and that ball can just go for miles. Stop shot here. Very nice. Looks like he didn't get a huge angle. There's enough, but he's just going to slide it towards that top short rail. Just like that. And this is really going to be the key here. I think he's going to come underneath this 8 ball, play it to the top left. Great work from the cameraman. And this is going to tie us up at 1 game apiece. 35 minutes left on the match clock. And again, this is first to 7 with an initial 40-minute match clock. And Tom Cousins ties it up here.
And leave their opponent an opportunity. I mean, we saw Kevin play the perfect match against Mike DeShane. He played the perfect match every time he came to the table, whether he was breaking or coming in off of Mike's break, he ran out. So it was the perfect match. He didn't miss a ball.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I think it's going to play out just like that. I mean, Kevin's not really going to falter from his normal operations. He's just going to stay smooth, stay continuing, game face on. And like you said, Tom Cousins really just adjusting to this type of equipment. But a cueist of his caliber, I think he's going to do just fine.
Yeah, the situations like this right here are what's going to dictate this match, simply because, you know, a bad break, if he wouldn't have had that 15 ball, he would have had nothing to shoot at. And that's the kind of things, if you want to call it a mistake, that's the kind of things that will be the mistake that wins or loses this match.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think either player is really going to miss open shots. There's a chance we don't see any open shots missed. I think it's just going to be positional errors, perhaps the break. But both of these guys really just going to perform for us here. You see Kevin Guimond representing Ultimate Pool New England. And we're really happy to have Ultimate Pool in the New England area. The players are getting really excited about that. And I think that the Boston Open really revealed what Ultimate Pool has in store for the U.S.
You know, that's one of the things that I keep bringing up is that for anybody out there that's skeptical, you've seen the advertisements, you've seen the league format being touted, you've heard about the $100,000 first prize, but you're still skeptical, and that's okay because as humans, we're skeptical sometimes. That's all right. The next event is Kansas City, and it's July 17th through the 20th. If you can get out there, even if you just want to take a short vacation to KC and come check out the Open, because I think it's almost full, you should, because the production value in this arena, the level of care that the tournament directors, this is what we talked about. I apologize. I don't want to stop talking about what we were talking about, but this might be the mistake that can change the course of this match.
And to be fair, that's on Kevin's break. So that could swing things. If Tom Cousins runs out here 2-1 up with the break, could possibly follow with a break and run. That would put him 3-1 up and kind of compound that mistake there from Kevin Guimond.
Yeah, but back to your question, you come to the event, see what it's like, because I think once you guys see the level of care and just the overall production and what everybody involved is putting into this, you'll see that this is not anything. There's no funny business here. We are straightforward. We are for the players. We want to make the best possible pool league America can offer, and we've done the things that we need to do to make that happen. Now we just need you guys to give it a shot, because I promise you, if you just give it a shot, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that, you know, this Boston Open, especially for our Northeast players and the spectators alike, you know, they've really gotten to see that this is the real thing. It's the real deal. And I think that the biggest hurdle was really just learning some of those intricate rules. Some of the rules here are a little different than the generic 8-ball style rules. Some of the players were just a little confused on how those things go, but ultimately that's just the way the game is played, and I think that everyone really understands that. But that was really the biggest hurdle. But overall, I've heard only positive feedback from the players and the spectators, and it's really nice to have Ultimate Pool in our area now.
Yeah, as Tom just winds this rack down, I agree with you there. The rules will, when you read them, you're like, oh, I don't understand this, or, you know, how does this break down, so on and so forth. But I'm telling you guys, once you figure it out and you realize that it's 85% just 8-ball with a few odds and ends rules there, you'll realize that it's not near as different as you expect.
Yeah, and I really do think that the Ultimate Pool formats really introduce a fun factor. And I do see a lot of players smiling and enjoying themselves. Even though they're in tight competition, they're having fun. And I do think that some of the rules, specifically the shot clock, match clock, those things really add a fun element to it. We're going to see Tom Cousins following up that run out in rack number 4, going with the second ball break again. And a little bit different of a reaction on that one. 7 ball does fall, so he is going to get to return to the table. Little cluster in the center. Nothing too bad. See that square contact on the 12. That 7 just barely making it into that bottom corner. Just going to take this initial time to assess the table, come up with a plan of attack. That's really the best way to go at an 8-ball rack. The initial idea in your map to run out is really important. A lot of times we see players playing this type of format. They get down to the last ball or two, and they just can't finish the set. So their opponent comes in, they have a massive advantage with a million different options on the table. So Tom Cousins taking care there. He's made his decision. And now it's time to execute. Floats it right between the 2 and the 8 very nicely. I think he wants to get on the right side of those balls to the side. He wants to get on that 9 ball to the left side pocket. Possibly bump the 5 away from the 10 just to clear those balls there. But that's really the key to this rack. He needs to open up that little cluster over there. Pockets are available. Just needs to navigate right through those. You see he's got a nice line here. 12 ball sitting right above the 1. It does go to the top right corner. I think we're going to see Tom Cousins move that just a bit. Let's see how he does this here. All right, he does move the 5. And he has a fairly decent line. I do think he's going to move this 112 here. Got to be really precise here. All right, so that means that the 12 passes to the left side, and that's what he's going to play here. A little deceiving from our view here. Didn't look like it passed, but it does. So it looks like he's going to use that 12 to the side pocket to get on the 8 ball, stays just above it. It doesn't look like he can stun down. He might need to go forward off that left long rail, come back towards the center of the table. He may just nip draw here, just like that. Open 8 ball to the bottom right. And Tom Cousins is going to take a 3-1 lead here.
And it's just like we talked about it, that one mistake. They have a stat for it in baseball, and I think it's called the cost, right? The cost of this error led up this many runs. Well, this right here, that one error.
Obviously, this summer we're used to seeing those warm temperatures up here, but this is really the first really hot week that we've seen. So, little give and take. We don't want a snowstorm, but the heat can be brutal sometimes.
And while we're talking about this break going on, I just want to give you guys an update. We do have our quarterfinals set. Obviously, this match is a quarterfinal matchup. But listen to this. Joe Prince and Declan Brennan will duke it out. Joe Prince, the prince of American pool. He has come over here. He's been in 4 finals. He's won 1. That's going to be a great match for the debutante, Declan Brennan. Also, Alex Bosch, Cleve Thompson. And then here we go. Here's a headliner. SVB and Sky Woodward.
Wow. Wow, that's really a treat for the fans here at the Boston Open, especially if you're on site. Get to see matchups like Stephen just gave us there. Really, really nice to see that caliber of player.
Yeah, SVB, Sky Woodward, that's a match that everybody wants to watch as an American because, you know, those are our guys.
That's right.
And that's a big one.
Kevin Guimond trying to hang on here. Nice bump on that 2 to open the 9. And you see, again, all business at the table. Cool, calm, collected, just doing his job. And it looks like he's going to have to come with a couple of decent shots here. 9 ball, 13, and then he's going to have to draw for the 12. It looks like that might be how he goes at this. Well, he wants to stay under the 13 here. He's going to draw slightly, wants to get back to basically right where he is so that he has the angle to go up table towards that 10 ball. So he doesn't really want to overpower this. We saw SVB overstroke a little bit on the draw shots on this table. Again, the cloth really, really fast. Kevin Guimond executes very nicely there. And I don't see anything stopping Kevin Guimond from putting himself at 2 right here.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of making sure that you don't overrun for your shape on the 8. You don't want to take an odd angle and, hate to bring up things that happened in the past, but that's the same pocket that he missed his ball in earlier, so having it straight in would definitely help him, I think, in the confidence area when he eyes up this side pocket.
Yeah, Kevin's not thinking anything other than, I'm doing this, this is what I'm here for, and I'm going to execute. And there you see with the deposit of that 8 ball, 3-2, still in favor of Tom Cousins, who is going to come to break here. Just going to drag it to the left rail. That was a lot better of a result.
Yeah, several balls down. A little bit of a mess on the left-hand side and in the top right-hand corner with that 14-9-1. So this is going to be what's the easiest way for me to get out here, and that's what Tom's trying to look at right here. And I don't think either one of them are just great options.
I mean, at first glance here, Stephen, it looks like stripes is the best option. There's more to work with, and there's more options to get to those breakouts. If he can pot this 10 and roll forward, he could get on the back side of the 14, which may pass to the top left. That could open up the 9 ball. On the left side of the table, he's got the 11 to break out that other ball that's tied up on the left long rail. It looks like he is going to try to go forward here, and he gets great on this ball.
Yeah, if this ball goes, he's in good shape, but eyeing it, just judging by his body language, I'm not sure he loves the angle that he got.
Yeah, great call there. Doesn't look like he got high enough on this ball, or I should say he's too high on this ball. Can't bump into the 1. So, I mean, he can make this ball, but I think he's going to end up having to come back to work on that 9 ball. And there you see he ended up using that ball to break the 12 out. So now that everything's open, he really is just going to work back to that 9 ball and the 8 ball. Ideally, he'd like to save that 11 ball, but I don't think he's going to have that chance. Granted, he could play the 13 to the bottom left. But again, in 8 ball, it's really about that map. What is your choice of shot, and when are you going to shoot those? You can't just shoot whatever's in front of you and then figure it out. You really have to have a solid plan right off the bat. And it looks like he has a plan.
Yeah, I always like to talk about this as like, imagine if you're back in the 1990s and you're going on a road trip and you take one look at the map before you take off on your journey. You're driving blind. You don't know where you're going. You need to have a road map in front of you to figure out how to get you where you want to go.
A great shot there. Opens it up. And that was a really nice way to play that, Stephen. He used that angle that he had on the 15 to open the 9 while leaving that 11 as a backup. So he had a shot regardless if he made the breakout or not. So that was a really nice judgment call by Tom Cousins.
The only thing I'd be worried about, and it's just a small worry, is being careful with your cue ball here. You don't want it to go too far in. He got a good touch there. If he hits it any thinner, he risks scratching, which is, it's definitely not something you want to do against Kevin Guimond.
No, absolutely not. But he knows that his opponent is very capable, and he's not going to stop coming at him. So Tom Cousins gets really nice on these last few balls. And I got to mention, great time management by both players. They don't seem like they're rushing. They're using the time that they have allotted, and they're managing the clock very well, keeping a nice pace, nice rhythm. And this is going to be simple stuff here for Tom Cousins. 8 ball to the top right Puts him up 4-2 with just over 20 minutes remaining.
Yeah, it's a good run there by Tom.
Second ball break. Needs a ball to fall. Is that one ball going to trickle in? Yes, it does. So success here on the break. 13 hanging. Looks like it's just hovering over the air in that top corner pocket. But again, nice, clean break. Not really smashing the rack. Yeah, nice controlled shot there. And Kevin Guimond got to make some decisions now. He wants to take on the stripes. But again, that first swing at the table, crucial. So looks like he's entertaining the solids now. Perhaps the 4 to the bottom corner, play those 2 balls into the side pocket, and he goes back to the stripes. A little quick on the get down execution there. I think he's going to be able to recover. He's got the 15 to the corner. The 14 is now blocked by that 4, or so it seems it is. So really just have to focus on those issues. He's always got that 13 as a backup. Again, hanging in the pocket, he could always play the combination with the 9 ball. But right now, yeah, that's tricky. It looks like Kevin is telling us that the 14 does just barely pass that 4, but he may have rolled a little far. Looks like he's just back and forth here. Wants to make sure he has a proper line on that 10 ball to the bottom right corner. Nice line there. And he's going to have an angle to go towards that right long rail. Again, sometimes it's very deceiving what's available to the player. You can have 1,000 cameras out there, but unless you're down on the shot with the player through their vision, it's really tough to know what's available to them. Kevin taking his time here on this 10. He knows this is crucial. Gets down with just a couple of seconds remaining. Now, if that 14 doesn't pass, this is tricky, because he's going to have to find himself underneath it or on the backside. The 5 ball prevents the option of going underneath it to the top corner, so almost making that 9 ball fall. That would have been a recipe for disaster. And looking at our overhead there, it does look like it may pass that 4. It's very tight, but it does look like it passes. You see him eyeing up where he wants to be. But this is all going to be a speed shot here. Just wants to get perfect on that 14. Doesn't want to have an angle, wants to end up just right.
Well, that's definitely not what he wanted, but I do think he made the good call there. It does pass, but now it's going to get a little dicey here because of your cue ball is going to be moving towards the red 3. If he can shoot that and keep his cue ball safe, he'll have the 8 ball in the top right-hand corner. But like I said, it's a little dicey. You got to get the speed right, and you got to make the ball.
And I'm not sure if he can avoid that 3, but if he can, he can play the 8 to the center pocket. And he's just going to float it in there.
Oh, he hit that good.
Great, great speed there.
All about the speed on that one.
You see Kevin Guimond, a.k.a. Mr. G, delivering on that tight shot there. Staying focused. And smooth cueing from Kevin. And he executes. And you see the local crowd showing their support for Kevin. So we are past that halfway point. Tom staying with that second ball break. And again, another fortunate bump to pocket a ball. So those types of situations, they're not necessarily repeatable. He's getting a different ball in a different pocket. It's not something that's really duplicated on either of his breaks. So I think that going forward, Tom's going to have to make some sort of an adjustment where he can repeat that same type of result. I mean, granted, he's got a wide open table here. Got to get above that 14. 8 ball blocking the natural pocket to the top left. He's got enough to work with, though. Lots of options here.
Yeah, there's definitely some things he's got to take care of to get out of this one.
And he's going to play this 15 to the bottom left. He's going to want to arrive above that red 3 in the center of the table. Wants to be able to shoot down into the left side pocket. You can see the layout, quick lay of the land on our overhead. Very clean delivery there. You see him trying to get way up that table. He wanted to be a bit higher. I think he wanted to get onto that 14, but no such luck. So he's going to have to change his plan just a bit. Again, in 8 ball, lots of options on the table, but as you continue the run, the options diminish. So in this situation, it's really all about getting on that 14 ball. 9 and the 10, 13, everything's okay there. Just really needs to figure out how he's going to get on that 14. I don't think we're going to see him work the cue ball too much here. Oh, he went all in. He's going way back above. Can he get there? He's going to come just a bit shy. He's going to take another swing at getting above that. He can draw. 10 ball to the top right off that short rail. Try to get back above the 14. That's really the key to this out here. Let's see if he can deliver. And he's gotten there.
Yeah, that's as perfect as he could get on that one, and that's a really, really nice run there. You called it straight down the line, Mike. He did everything he had to do to get to that last problem ball, and now it's really just a matter of making the 14, make the 9, and make the 8 ball.
Clean execution again. And this is going to put Tom Cousins up 5-3, maintaining that 2-game gap after that error from Kevin Guimond.
Yeah, it's all going to come back to that, isn't it, Mike?
Yes, it is.
It's just that one error that's going to potentially cost Kevin the match if it keeps going like this.
Well, I mean, at this level of play, Stephen, it really is just so critical, everything. You know, players can play a perfect match in the match clock. Time is running out.
Yeah, and something to think about there. I don't think we'll ever be in fear of the match clock causing a finish. However, what it will do is, let's just say that Kevin wins the next 2 games and makes it 5-5. We'll then be into that 15-second shot clock, which Tom is going to have an insane amount more of experience than Kevin does on that 15-second shot clock. And that, again, that's something that can cause you to make mistakes if you've never played with a shot clock like this. It can definitely cause issues.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor that a lot of the players who are unfamiliar with will struggle with. And, you know, most of the time they're playing in the pool rooms, and there's not really any implementation of a shot clock, so they can kind of take their sweet time, if you will. And in this type of format, not possible. Looks like the referee is looking at that previous shot there, possibly claiming he did not make legal contact.
Well, we're going to get a check real quick. 1 second.
You'll see exactly what's happening.
And after confirmation, our referee, Mr. Daryl Hibbert, has confirmed that the shot is good.
Good hit.
Was just worried about the contact there on the ball, but the shot is good. And that's great refereeing by our referee staff there, making sure that the shot was good before allowing play to continue. Smart call.
And great work by our videographers back here, pushing buttons and making sure that we can get those close views. And that was a little deceiving there. The 2 ball did move backwards when Kevin executed on the stripe, so Glad that the Ultimate Pool staff here is taking care to be sure, be certain.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the entire Ultimate Pool USA staff is we want to give the best experience we can possibly give.
Kevin having to use that rest to get at that 15. Really nice cue control there. Actually perfect. Doesn't hit the 12, doesn't hit the 10. Just judging by how this table is sitting, I think we're going to see 10, 11, 13, 12. I think that's the way he may go. Just touch this 10 in the side very softly. Leave himself right there for the 11 on the opposite side pocket. Just like that.
And he's actually, I think he's going 10-12, but that was the nice thing about that is if he didn't have the angle to hold, he's always got the 12 ball to save him.
That's right. I think him going up table, he's got to get a nice line on this 11. Doesn't want to go back up table. And I think that'll do just enough.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay just rolling forward just a smidge.
And doesn't need to work the cue ball.
Now we've ended up in a little bit of a funny spot because he's angled off of the shot. So his cue ball is going to come off straight. And there's a ball in between him and the 8 ball. So he's going to have to work the cue ball a little bit. May see him play it with some top spin. May see him try and draw back.
He may come under the 2 ball here. Oh, no, he goes right into the 3. He's not going to like that result.
Yeah,
Being on the rooftop here, that's one of the toughest shots in pool.
Especially on the 8 ball. It just makes the pressure that much more. And the time clock is not going to help.
And he just gets down and shoots it clean. Wow. Fantastic finish from Kevin Guimond, letting you know under pressure he can still perform. Has been making a ball, but not in a repeatable fashion.
Ooh. That cue ball was this close to scratching.
Does manage to make the 5 in the side pocket. And he is going to have a few options for an opening pot. It looks like he has an avenue right through that 315 up to the solid 2. I'm not positive if he's going to go with that. He might be going to the side pocket here for that 12. And he's elected to play stripes. Funky little bump there off that 4.
Yeah, that's not going to help him in the 8 ball department.
Yeah, I think he was exploring if it still went into the top left by that 13. I mean, he still has a little bit of work to do. Perhaps that 14 in the top right there. I think we might see him play that off of the 7 to move it.
That 8 ball is tight to the top left. It's really, really tight.
If he's going to repeat anything that we've seen so far, he's going to just find a way to make it happen. Excellent cue ball control. Now this is really where it starts to get to the nitty-gritty of the ending of this rack. And with just 8 minutes remaining, this is the decider here. Tom Cousins needs to maintain that 2-rack lead. Any error here is going to put Kevin Guimond at an advantage. If he ties it up 5-5 here, Kevin's coming with the break. That's going to be trouble for Tom Cousins.
Oh, he played that perfect.
Very, very nice.
Now he's opened up the pocket for the 8 ball, left himself the 13 as his key shot. And I do believe, barring any crazy situations, that Tom Cousins is going to make it to the hill first with right around 6 minutes and 50 seconds, 55 seconds left on the clock, something around there.
Perfect on the 8 ball. Tom Cousins not faltering one bit, 0 errors, apart from losing the lag. He looks great out there. Clean pot there. It keeps that 2-game gap there, 6-4. Yeah, it really is remarkable how this works out, and especially, you brought up a good point, how things are so crucial, and, just one minor error can be the deciding factor. But take note that this is just one fraction of time, and this 40-minute match, race to 7. Perhaps if it was to 11, the 2-game gap switches as we go past that 7-game line. Perhaps go to 13 or 15, switches again. It's really about what can you do in that amount of time.
That's a good opening shot right there.
Got to say, Kevin Guimond still playing super solid. Of course, we keep referring to that one minor error, but...
Well, it's so funny because you asked me in the very beginning of the match what I thought would be, that deciding factor, and it's almost like we made it happen, right?
Yeah.
we willed it into fruition because I said, I think it would become the first person to make an error would probably be the loser in this match. And unfortunately, shortly thereafter, we saw that error, and we haven't seen a return error from the other side. So, again, it's crazy how these things work.
Yeah, Kevin Guimond doesn't seem like he's affected by that 15-second shot clock that we've now gotten into. Keeping that nice rhythm, making sound decisions in just a couple of seconds. Cue ball still looking really good. I'll tell you, the table may be a 7-foot table, but with the speed of the cloth and, the claustrophobic environment at times, I got to say that these gentlemen are super talented being able to navigate through these tables like this. Pinpoint position.
That's a really good point because of the shape of the felt. The wear and tear is very minimal on it, so you're not getting the same slowness and you're getting a lot of drag. This could get really tight if we do see a mistake.
Second ball break. 6 ball goes in the side pocket.
Oh, man. There's not a lot keeping him from being able to run this out.
No change on the expression for Kevin Guimond. Just waiting and hoping for an opportunity.
If this 5 ball can be played right now, I don't mind the stripes because the 7 goes in the side past the 15. He's going to take the stripes, which, again, I don't think there's a wrong play here. I am curious as to what he'll do with the 14 ball.
At some point, he may move it, but he could get behind it and just kind of bump it towards that top right, perhaps get above it.
Take his medicine and shoot it in the corner.
Yeah.
Top right.
Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance he does that, and he's going to move it right now. Doesn't get into any trouble with that 8 ball, so little skill and a little fortune compounded to give him everything he needs to finish this up and win the match 7-5. Got to keep pace, though. 15-second shot clock is active right now. You see a bit of haste.
As soon as you say that, yeah, he picks up the pace just a little bit.
He said, hey, I forgot this is 15 seconds now. I got to move it.
And again, barring any mistakes, I got to say, Kevin Guimond, what a weekend it has been for you, sir. Oh, but unfortunately, I do think your weekend may be coming to an end a little earlier than you had anticipated, especially after besting Justin Bergman, because Top Cat Tom Cousins is playing phenomenal.
Just 2 shots away here from claiming victory, and I don't think Kevin Guimond can be disappointed with his performance this weekend. Absolute flawless play from him, minor errors, and he should be able to walk away with his head up very high.
Yeah, there it is, guys. Tom Cousins takes it down against Kevin Guimond. Huge congratulations to him. And Mike, thank you so much for joining me in the booth. It was an absolute pleasure.